So this is lesson 2 of In Spite of Ourselves. In Spite of Ourselves begins with an instrumental intro that is basically the shape of the verse, and but played instrumentally. That's what I'm going to show you first. And then after the chorus, after the first chorus, there's an instrumental interlude. It has a couple of tricky measures at the end, but otherwise it's very, very simple, and that's what I'm going to show you second. If you haven't already seen the lesson 1 on In Spite of Ourselves, it's a good idea to start there, because then you're going to learn the chord structure and the basic layout of the verse. There's a link to it right here, so go and have a look at that. I'm also putting a link in the description to the live performance by John Prine and Iris Dement of this song. That's the one that I've transcribed here, so that's what this will match. And it's a good idea to listen to that a few times if you haven't already. That's why I have the capo on it too, because that's where John's playing this song in that video. So here's the first 2 measures of C. What I want you to notice is in the second measure, I'm using 2 different fingers to play the rapidly succeeding high notes. On the first 2 beats, I'm playing on the B string and then again on the B string, but the first beat is with middle finger and the second beat is with pointer finger. Here it is. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. We'll put it here, middle finger and then pointer. And then the next beat, to 3 and, I'm playing with the middle finger, and then I'm playing the high E string with the ring. Practice playing it in this manner, using tremolo picking, is an incredibly useful thing, especially when we have multiple notes on the same string happening in succession one after the other. We use 2 different fingers to play them. It gives us a lot of speed. So here's measures 3 and 4. Now we're playing this in an F position, but it's hammered on. So you start off with your pointer just holding down the low E string, and we're going to hammer on to the 2 with our G on the G string, and then as we're doing that, we're flattening out the pointer to pick up the B string, and then I'm applying the ring finger, and this is all happening in rapid succession. So first, holding F on the low E, hammering down with the middle finger on the G, and then straightening out the pointer to catch the B string, and then the ring finger goes down. So here's the sequence of motions. Okay, it's hammer on G, pick B, finger down on D. And when I play that faster, it goes. It's a bit of an advanced technique, so you'll have to practice it a little bit, but it's totally doable. Okay. All right, so here's measures 3 and 4 again. First measure with the hammer on the G. And here's measure 4. Again with tremolo picking on beat 1 and on beat 3 and. Okay. Let's go to measure 5. Now we're just doing the same C pattern that we played in measures 1 and 2. That pattern is 1 and 2. Okay, so here's 2 measures of G. To start with, we're playing 2 plain measures of G. We're just holding down the G on the low E string, and then we're adding pinky onto the B string for some of the notes, and you'll see how this goes. Just the same measure again. Okay, and then we're changing to an altered G that has the high G note as well. So now we're moving on to the E string. Now we're going to a B on the A string as a setup that takes us to this returning C in measure 10. And now we're into measure 11, which is weird that we have 11 measures, but we do. Okay, and those are all the picking patterns. Mental. I'm just going to do, and I'm going to do the last section slowly because I have to step through it myself, and you're going to have to as well. So starting on at the beginning of the last repeat, it's this. Beginning of the last repeat, starting on the F. Then we're into the variation here. The C, it's just a regular C grip. G7. And then back to regular C. And then back to the verse. This is the first section. It's a pickup on the C. I'm playing a pinch. And then middle finger on the high E. And then the D note on the B string. That's the pickup. Okay, the first phrase of the instrumental break after the pickup is an F phrase. And I'm just going to show you the right hand. Okay, so we're hammering on just as we do in the verse. Then a thumb on the D. Here I'm playing again a sequence of notes on the high string. So I'm doing the pinch and then the middle finger to get the repeat. And then back to the pointer for the G string, thumb. So that's this. Then, the next measure of F, I'm doing pinching the two outside notes, starting with the middle finger, then the pointer, thumb. And then starting with the middle again. Starting with the middle. Okay, that's that. The next phrase in the instrumental section is a C. And so it's relatively straightforward. Again, we're using this repeating motion, this tremolo picking idea, to get the two notes that are close together on the B string. Okay, you notice I pick with the middle first, then the pointer. Okay, and then the second measure is very, very simple, and it's a repeating pattern with a slight variation. So it's okay, and so that phrase of 4 measures is what gets repeated. We repeat that 4 measures 3 times. And when we get to the final measure of the third repeat, we have a little bit different operation happening. We have a pickup taking us into a sort of a turnaround or a conclusion at the end that almost sounds like a pedal steel part. And so here's the second measure of C with a slight variation. And then we go. Okay, now we go into a measure of C and a measure of G, just like we do elsewhere in the song, only here it's a slightly different melody. But we're starting with this is a C shape, and I'm just using the pinky to add that G note on the high E string, and here's how it goes. Okay, that's the first measure of C. Now I switch to a G, and I'm just really expanding my hand into a G7 grip. Okay, I'm expanding my grip from a C to a G7 grip, then the open D, then I'm pinching G and B, then low E string and B, then open D and open B. And the final one is a regular C measure, but with the alternating bass. And that takes us back to the beginning of the verse. And so today we looked at lesson 2 of In Spite of Ourselves, which included the instrumental intro and the instrumental interlude that's in the middle of the song. So this is the second of 2 lessons. If you haven't already worked through the first lesson, go and have a look at it. There's a link to it here. And come on back and visit me again soon. We'll have some more lessons, maybe even some more John Prine lessons.